Minister Tan See Leng.
Mr. Chairman, I shall speak about two ways through which will help our enterprises emerge stronger from the crisis. First, by anchoring strong local enterprises, and second, by helping our enterprises go global. Now, Mr. Liang Eng-hwa, Ms. Foo Mee Ha, and Mr. Sean Huang asked how we intend to support businesses and nurture them into local champions. We will do so by pressing on with industry transformation at both the sector level and contemporaneously at the ecosystem level. Our overriding priority over the past 1 year has been to weather the COVID-19 storm. However, we cannot hunker down forever. We must keep our eyes focused on the future and press on with industry transformation to emerge stronger. And fortunately, we are not starting from scratch. We had earlier embarked on transformation through our 23 industry transformation maps, the ITMs, and we are refreshing them to make sure that they are still relevant in the light of COVID-19 and that we are able to unlock new opportunities that have arisen globally over the last 12 months or so. Mr. Liang Eng-hwa also asked how we will turn up the pace of transformation, and we will do this by strengthening our industry ecosystem and accelerating Industry 4.0 or the I 4.0 adoption. And one example of this is the manufacturing industry. This is fundamentally changing with digitalization, with robotics, and new technologies like additive manufacturing. The industry needs to transform to achieve our manufacturing 2030 vision, and we are taking decisive steps to do so. The Smart Industry Readiness Index, or SIRI, launched in 2017, helps manufacturing firms take specific, measurable steps towards transformation. We are working with the World Economic Forum to make SIRI a global benchmark to facilitate our SIRI-assessed firms to be able to compete globally. The JTC SBF Industry Transformation Initiative, which was launched last year, will further help local manufacturing companies in their I 4.0 transformation by providing access to resources like curated training workshops and capability building initiatives. We will also create new peaks of manufacturing excellence by bringing together related companies to collaborate, to experiment, and to succeed together. Just as Jurong Island and the Seletar Aerospace Park catalyzed our chemicals and aerospace industries respectively in the not-too-distant past, so too will the new Jurong Innovation District, or JID, be the catalyst for our I 4.0 ambitions. The JID will house the Advanced Remanufacturing and Technology Center, ARTC, and Factories of the Future, and it will serve as the focal point to develop and testbed new technologies like 5G and autonomous vehicles to serve global markets. I 4.0 is most commonly associated with manufacturing sector, but actually the spirit behind it, one of being forward-looking and making the most of technology, finding ways to do things more efficiently and smartly, must be a pervasive culture for all of us, and it has to apply aggressively across all industries. And I'm happy today that many of our companies have imbibed this spirit. Besides sector-level transformation, as I've alluded to earlier on, we will also do more at the ecosystem level to nurture all businesses, regardless of size, regardless of sector, to pursue the next bound of growth. In 2020, we enhanced co-funding schemes such as the Enterprise Development Grant and the Productivity Solutions Grant to help companies transform their capabilities. Over 15,000 companies embarked on transformation projects with ESG's support in 2020. And in spite of the pandemic, in spite of the crisis, this is 50% higher than even in 2019. We will also continue strengthening enterprise leadership capabilities through schemes like the Enterprise Leadership for Transformation, ELT, and Scale Up SG programs. In particular, through Scale Up SG, we aim to groom another 50 future local champions over the next 2 years. Mr. Chairman, we will continue with this suite of support to strengthen enterprise capabilities. And DPM has spoken about the various scheme enhancements we will make to encourage more companies to come on board. But let me emphasize 3 key areas that will form the next bound of growth for our businesses to be able to compete globally. 1, a Team Singapore approach. 2, access to financing. And 3, innovation. First, a Team Singapore approach to capture opportunities. Ms. Foo Mee Ha and Mr. Edward Chia asked about how our companies can adopt a collaborative mindset such that the entire value chain is uplifted and everyone benefits. Indeed, we must embrace this Team Singapore approach because our competition is not with one another here, it's with the world. So individually, even our largest companies are modest by international standards, but collectively, we can win as Team Singapore. And we're doing much more to develop our winning game plan. The government is partnering the private sector on the AFAs. These are alliances for action. They bring together a diverse range of industry and public sector stakeholders to quickly seize opportunities in sectors such as tourism, logistics, and others. For example, the AFA on smart commerce has brought together industry players to pioneer new operating models to digitalize and to diversify revenue streams. The AFA had launched an online-offline 11th November campaign, 11/11, incorporating gamification elements to provide retailers with more marketing opportunities and deliver consumers a whole new experience. Another example is how various industry stakeholders collaborated to create opportunities in the pandemic for the MICE sector. The Safe and Innovative Visitor Experience AFA developed a prototype for hosting exhibitions safely amidst last year's pandemic and tested it in November last year at the Travel Revive Trade Show. This has attracted close to 1,000 attendees, comprising 65 foreign visitors from 14 different countries. And it showed that Singapore remained open for business, successfully and safely. A big part of our ecosystem strategy is strengthening the partnerships between large and small companies. Hence, I agree with Ms. Janet Ang that LLEs can play an important role in uplifting our SMEs. ESG's PACT program encourages such mutually beneficial partnership programs between companies. And PACT has supported more than 280 partnerships and benefited more than 1,500 Singapore-based firms since 2010. The National Innovation Challenges launched in 2020 also helps to catalyze cross-country partnerships to address sector-wide challenges. The NIC also helps smaller companies to build up their track record in the process. And in addition, our trade associations and chambers of commerce, our TACs, they will also play an important part in fostering industry partnerships. And Minister of State, Ms. Low Yen Ling, will speak more about this in her speech later. Second, enabling greater access to financing and capital. Whether our businesses are planning to develop new products or expand overseas, having access to financing and capital is crucial for their enterprises' growth ambitions. This could be in the areas of product development or just for international expansion. The government carefully monitors our financing ecosystem to ensure that all companies, from startups to SMEs to LLEs, can access the capital that they need. We have extended the Enterprise Financing Scheme Venture Debt Program, the EFSVD program, and raised the maximum supportable loan quantum from 5 million Singapore dollars to 8 million. And this will give high growth enterprises greater access to financing. Ms. Fu Miha and Ms. Janet Ang asked about how the new local enterprises funding platform, LEFP, can support our local companies. This is indeed a very major initiative. The government provides financing support to grow local enterprises, particularly when there's a dearth of private capital. Most of these are in the form of grants or loans. Equity financing, equity initiatives are typically targeted at startups and SMEs. This is where the risks can be higher, or you need a longer runway for more patient capital. This is done through existing co-investment programs, such as those managed by Heliconia and EDBI or EDB Investments. However, there's an increasing need to support our larger companies with the ambitions of becoming regional or even future global champions. And this is where the LEFP comes in to precisely address and meet this need. So drawing on the network and expertise of Temasek, the LEFP will actively seek out promising LLEs to invest in, focusing on sectors that are aligned with the engines of growth in our economy. This complements existing efforts by EDB and ESG to help our most promising firms to scale up, to soar, and to reach their full potential. Third, supporting our enterprises to innovate. We will spare no effort to support our enterprises to innovate. But we hope our enterprises must also do their part to support us, to invest in innovation. Businesses that leverage innovation are better placed to compete globally and capture value for our economy. As DPM and Minister Lawrence Wong have mentioned in their speeches, RIE is a cornerstone of Singapore's national strategy to develop as an innovation-led economy. Associate Professor James Lim spoke about increasing R&D spending. The government is committed to investing about 1% of our GDP in research, innovation, and enterprise over the next 5 years. And this is similar to our commitment for RIE 2020 and our earlier research plans. Our investments in RIE is at a comparable level to other small advanced economies. And unlike what Associate Professor James Lim alluded to earlier, we're by no means far behind. Compared to the more mature advanced economies, our RIE ecosystem is still at a relatively early stage of development. But notwithstanding that, in absolute terms, we have increased our investments in RIE significantly since our first National Technology Plan in 1991. In fact, if you look at, just for reference sake, Singapore's public expenditure on R&D was about 0.7% of GDP in 2018, compared to 1.1% for Denmark, 1% for Sweden, and Switzerland. So I think we need to compare on a like-for-like. This kind of investments are significant for a small country like us. It is not just about increasing public investments into R&D, but it's about making very judicious investment, about spending the money wisely, about continuing to develop the capabilities that's needed for us to meet our national strategic needs and to create new growth opportunities for ourselves. And in the past 20 to 30 years, we have made collectively as a country significant strides. But my exhortation is to everyone who's in this house, we cannot rush this. Mr. Leong Man Wai also asked about the returns to our RIE investments and commented about the foreign talent in our RSE landscape. Our investments in RIE have benefited Singapore in many ways. First, business expenditure on R&D has increased by more than 2.5 times, from 1.5 billion in 1998 to approximately 5.6 billion in 2018. And we hope to continue to see continued growth of private R&D spending. all of our government financing schemes, including the LEFP, the venture debt program, and all the rest, help to crowd in private capital. To his point about foreign talent in our RSE landscape, let me reassure members of the House that we have developed a strong core of research scientists and engineers and engineering talent that will continue, and we will continue to grow our pipeline. In fact, the number of RSEs, research scientists and engineers, has almost tripled from about 12,700 to over 36,000 in the last 20 years, from 1998 to 2018. And 70% of this group of 36,000 are either Singapore citizens or permanent residents. So of this, the industry RSEs, both industry and private sector RSEs, grew at a slightly faster rate, from about 6,500 to over 19,000 in the same period. For the RIE 2025, we will continue to push these initiatives and build up our scientific talent pipeline. We are increasing the A-star scholarships by almost 25% to encourage local undergraduates interested in taking up PhDs. Through the Singapore Teaching and Academic Research Talent Scheme and the Returning Singapore Scientist Scheme, we are strengthening the pool of Singaporean academic talent in our universities. All of these returns extend beyond hard data. More and more companies are investing in Singapore because of the nexus to our R&D ecosystem, whether to create durable aircraft engines or skincare tailored to the Asian skin. They want to create intellectual property as a sustainable competitive edge in an economy that is trusted and in a Singapore brand and in Singapore that fits the bill. Our R&D investments also deliver benefits in a disruptive environment. During the pandemic, when the world was short of COVID-19 test kits, our biomedical science R&D capabilities built up over the past 20 years have enabled us to develop and manufacture Fortitude COVID-19 diagnostic tests, which has since sold more than 5 million units in over 45 countries. Professor Hoon Hian Teck said that spurring innovation and activities will enable Singapore companies to capture opportunities. And Mr. Sean Huang has asked about how we are helping our enterprises grow innovation capabilities. As I've said earlier on, we will continue to support our enterprises, including SMEs, to benefit from R&D and innovation, particularly in areas that have delivered outsized returns. We will do so by providing financing for innovative startups. ESG administers the Startup SG Equity Program to catalyze private sector investment into innovative Singapore-based startups. Besides equity co-investment, Section 13H and fund management incentive tax schemes also encourage fund managers to direct their capital towards Singapore-based businesses and startups, and these schemes were enhanced in Budget 2020. One of the challenges that startups face is the relative lack of talent that can bridge research and business. So the newly established Innovation and Enterprise Fellowship Schemes program will expand the local pool of deep technical talent with experience in R&D translation by connecting researchers with accelerators, startups, or investors for product development and technology commercialization work. So beyond startups, we are also doing more to help SMEs with innovation and commercialization of R&D. First, talent and know-how are critical. We will continue to support SMEs that lack access to research talent through the TUP program. This is the Technology for Enterprise Capability Upgrading. And with this TUP program, A-Star secons research talent to SMEs to enhance their innovation capabilities. Since its inception in 2003, more than 900 A-star researchers have been seconded to over 800 SMEs. Our Innovation Advisors Program also facilitates the know-how by appointing experts from various fields to SMEs to impart relevant advice and networks. Mr. Chairman, I've described our strategies to anchor strong local enterprises to emerge stronger from the crisis. But the ultimate ambition is to help our enterprises spread their wings and internationalize. Mr. Liang Enghua asked whether the pandemic has put a dent on our internationalization momentum, and Ms. Jessica Tan asked how our businesses can be supported to internationalize. Indeed, the travel restrictions have made it harder for our businessmen to travel to foreign markets, and the conditions in several of our major export markets remain challenging. However, I'm encouraged by our businesses' continued willingness to pursue alternative means of accessing foreign markets. We will do more to support our companies to seize opportunities globally. We will expand the Global Innovation Alliance Network from 15 to 25 cities over the next 5 years to support enterprises' ambitions to expand their global market outreach and seek innovation partnerships. Cross-border innovation platforms such as the Co-Innovation Program, CIP, under the GIA will support our enterprises in collaborating with overseas partners on innovation projects. We will also enhance support to offset businesses' internationalization costs. In addition to the 6 months extension of support levels for the Market Readiness Assistance Grant, we will also fold in trade credit insurance support to help defray costs of such insurance. We have also expanded the scope of qualifying expenses in the double tax deduction for internationalization scheme to include virtual trade fairs to account for new modes of internationalization due to COVID-19. Third, a key ingredient of international success is a strong talent pool. Through the Global Ready Talent Program, or GRT program, our students and young professionals can gain greater exposure and deeper in-market knowledge, and thereafter become strong contributors to their employers' global expansion efforts. And since the launch in 2019, GRT has supported more than 1,000 Singapore enterprises in creating such opportunities for close to 6,000 students. Ms. Jessica Tan also spoke about the importance of our TACs in supporting businesses to compete globally. This brings me to my last point on how TACs are supporting internationalization. One example is how the Singapore Business Federation has partnered ESG to launch its Global Connect at SBF initiative. This initiative, through their team of market advisors providing targeted advisory services, has since supported more than 2,500 Singapore businesses in spite of the challenging situations in 2020. Supported by all of these efforts, our common vision of success is to have an ecosystem of resilient enterprises that are highly capable, that are open to collaboration, and they are equipped to compete globally. They will be nimble and innovative and able to withstand external disruptive shocks and black swan events such as COVID-19. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, opportunities favor the prepared and the bold. For budding entrepreneurs, I encourage you to take the first step. Put your dreams into a business plan. Develop a minimum viable product or solution. Present them to us, and we will review, and where it is feasible, we will do our best to help you to uplift and to soar. For existing enterprises, I urge you to seize the opportunities available and to dream big. If you have the gumption to take the next step, the government will ride this journey with you, to strengthen you, to enable you to spread your wings. We will be the wind beneath your wings. Thank you.